Have you wondered what it takes to be successful with direct mail marketing? Maybe you've thought about it in the past but have been confused on how to get started, or just heard that it doesn't work nowadays. Or maybe you're already doing direct mail marketing but want to figure out how to make it more effective. In today's video, I'm going to share with you what direct mail marketing is, how to get started, and most importantly, how to make it a successful pillar of your business. Let's begin. Hey, it's Jaime, founder of Echo Real Estate Advisors. If we're just meeting, welcome to the channel that brings actionable content to grow your business through online marketing. So if that sounds beneficial, consider subscribing. This is one of the rare times that I go off of the online marketing world onto the physical marketing world. I do this because basically the principles are the same as email marketing, and there are ways to bring the direct mail, the physical world responses onto the online world and convert leads that way. Direct mail marketing is the act of unsolicited advertising sent to prospective customers through the mail. So based off of that definition, you can already tell that the response rates are going to be low, and you'd be right. So we need to be aware that it's a volume game. So the more direct mail that you send, the higher likelihood of you getting responses, i.e. leads. So let's take a look at a basic direct mail formula where you take into account the number of pieces that you send. So in other words, the amount of mail that you send, and you multiply that by a response rate. That formula is going to produce the amount of responses, the amount of potential leads that you're going to have either to talk with or email back or text back, dependent on the action that you ask those respondents to take. That's direct mail in the most fundamental way. And this works across all industries, but today we're focusing on real estate and how to get started. First, you have to select your farm, and this goes beyond selecting pretty houses or houses that are just in your neighborhood. Yes, you are going to get to decide which neighborhood you want to farm, but you also want data behind that farm to see what the opportunity even is. So breaking it down, you're going to select an area and analyze how many homes sold in the past year. Once you have all of the homes highlighted, which is very simple to do in your MLS, regardless of which one you have, you're going to take the average sales price of the homes that came up, and then you can multiply that by your commission. Now, the more information that you have, the more interpretations that you can have with that data. So not only will you take the past year, but you're going to take the year before that, the year before that, and the year before that. So ideally, if you take the past 4 years of that neighborhood, you're going to have a fair representation of what's happening in that area. Now, yes, this does not account for sale by owners or sales that happen within families or just private sales altogether that don't make it onto the MLS. And I fully understand that. However, this is at least a great way to have a conservative estimate of what you're working with. You at least have the value of the farm that you're considering, and this is going to shortcut you so many frustrations, so many wounds, so much money wasted by continuing to do marketing in a farm that maybe the financial opportunity just isn't there.
What you gonna do, Derek? Show me the money!
So what does this mean? If you have a farm of 500 homes and you see that only 5 sell in an entire year, then you know you have to go beyond that area. You have to at least include other areas in order to make it financially possible for you because you're not going to get all 5 homes. That would be fantastic, but you're just not. Or you may find that this area just isn't moving. It's not, there's something here that when people buy, they stay. While on the contrary, you're going to find homes which with much smaller quantities, so 200 homes, and you're going to find that 20 of them sell, 50 of them sell. So it gives you a good representation of what's going on in that neighborhood. Once you have a good understanding of what the value of the farm is, then you can take the Shark Tank approach. Now, I know that's not the best way of doing things, but if you've watched Shark Tank, you know that when the entrepreneurs, business owners go in there pitching the sharks, they say that the market is $500 billion, and if I could capture 1% of the 1%, we're going to be rich.
You're dead to me, and you are, because I'm out.
I want you to take that same type of mentality, but be realistic in understanding that the value of the farm may be $5 million and it'll be 100 homes. I'm just making up numbers at this point, but understand that you're not going to be able to capture the entire market. Set a realistic expectation of how many homes you could potentially be getting in front of. Now, while we've been super analytical in the past couple of minutes, there has to be a moment of faith. There has to be a moment of action and jumping and going out and doing. You can do this all day long, every single day, analyze farm after farm after farm, but you're not going to know until you do. This is designed to give you a fair representation and a good idea if a farm is worth it, but now you have to go and act. And there's that leap of faith that you have to take because you're not going to know the numbers until you're actually in them. So now we get to focus on our controllables, and the first one being the amount of pieces that we sent out, the amount of direct mail that we get to send to these farms. But again, without going in blindly, let's look at how we can make the amount of pieces we send out more effective. We know that statistically, homeowners are staying in their home for about 8 years. So taking that information, wouldn't it be beneficial if we targeted those people right around that year mark? So if I were you, I would get that list. And it's very accessible if you have Remind. All you have to do is go and highlight those homeowners that have owned that home at least 8 years. But keep in mind, this 8 years is the national average of when people sell. So this means people sell prior and people sell after. So if I were you, I would start prior. So I would start at year 6 and start my indoctrination, my marketing up until that point. Again, we're going based off of statistics and blending it in with practical advice and practical actions. So looking at homeowners that have owned that home for at least 6 years is a great place to start. Again, we're using statistics. Some will be less, some will be more, but at least we're making our marketing more effective. The last thing you want is if you're mailing direct mail every single month, the last thing you want is to have one direct mail piece hit somebody that just bought the home. And then the month after that, they're on homeownership month number 2. So let's get a bit more effective with the amount of pieces that we send. Okay, how do we make our response rate increase? By optimizing the chances that somebody is going to take that direct mail piece and put it on that kitchen counter versus putting it in the trash. Getting people to read your message is the most important part. So if you're sending a postcard, make it eye-catchy. Make it something beneficial, something that would want people to actually read or interpret what you've actually sent them. If you're sending a letter, make something outside, i.e. the envelope, stand out to where it piques curiosity and it'll have somebody actually opening your mail. Again, the biggest battle is going from that mailbox to the trash. If you can put the counter in between that, meaning where people put it on the kitchen counter versus putting it in the trash, you've won more than 90% of the battle, because a lot of direct mail doesn't make it to that kitchen counter. One quick tip before continuing, please hit the like button so this video's reach is magnified and others benefit. Very important, have a call to action. Invite them to text you for a CMA, or invite them to scan a QR code for that CMA or a market report, or whatever you want to offer as your lead magnet. Have a call to action so that they have a reason to not only read your message before they throw it away, but for them to read your message and actually commit to you. Have a micro commitment of texting you, having a micro commitment of going online and looking at what you have to share. How you increase your conversion is simple. You answer your phone. You respond to the lead as you do with online leads as quickly as possible. Don't let minutes go by, hours go by, and certainly not days. Answer as quickly as you can. And once you have them on the phone or they respond to you in email, make sure they are in your follow-up system, whether you have email marketing campaigns ready to go, text marketing campaigns, or call campaigns. Make sure they go onto your process going forward, and you can nurture that lead so they ultimately can convert if they're not ready to take action that very moment that they reach out to you. Pro tip, whenever you're calling to action, ask them to text you. This way you have their phone numbers so you can text back and forth or call them. Also, in the call to action, ask them to go to one of your landing pages or a page that you have a pixel, so your Facebook pixel or your Google tag, so then you can retarget them online. One of the best things that I can tell you is be consistent and commit. Commit to this strategy if you're going to use it. The worst thing that you can do is just send one direct mail piece to this farm and then be frustrated when nobody responds back, and you move on to the next farm and to the next farm, to the next farm, and you're out there spraying and praying and not seeing the power of branding yourself, of being consistent and being present in one farm year in and year out. So give this some time to work. Quick question for you. What direct mail service do you use to send your direct mail? Let me know in the comment section down below. And if you found value today, please hit the subscribe button so we can talk again soon.